Sweet surrender as I love, serve, and remember.
It's such an honor to be asked to fill in for Reverend Harriet. We're so glad to be here and see you all, and a lot of familiar faces, and I understand that there's some friends that are on Zoom, so I say hi to everybody on Zoom. Oh, Lacey. And Ola are in person, all right. So good morning, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't have green on, well, sort of green, but happy St. Patrick's Day. So I wanted to read you this little Irish blessing before I started. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Its hand. So we celebrate the Irish today, and my sister and I are Irish. So. This morning I'm talking about entering the kingdom. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. This is what you know when you enter the kingdom of God, the kingdom of good. You know that you're one with the divine, with all that is. There's no question. You're embodying this oneness. You remember who you are, like the wonderful song, I am remembering who I am. The kingdom is the quantum field. It's the place that you remember that the present and the past and the future are all happening at one time, right now. That everything is here now. Reverend Darlene Sykes, who many of you know and is a good friend, she said, I do not have to wait for what is already here. I don't have to wait for what is already here. I love that. And the kingdom is a place that we know, as Ernest Holmes said, we are immersed in an infinite creative medium which, because of its nature, must create after the pattern our thought gives it. So as we think, it becomes manifest. As we think, we see it in our world. When we're in the kingdom, we're in the present moment, and we see the beauty and the abundance of life. So yesterday, I was sitting in my sister Debbie's backyard, meditating, and I looked around, and Debbie always has these beautiful pots. In the summertime, they're overflowing with flowers, all different colors. They're so beautiful. And then in the winter, of course, they die out, and she cuts them back. But I was looking at the pots when I was there, realizing that they're coming to life again, that the green is growing up through the old, and it's some of them already had flowers on them, and some it was just beginning. But you know, those plants don't have to do anything to grow. They just soak up the sun and the rain, and it's activated, and they just reach up and grow. And that's what it is in the kingdom. We don't have to do anything. We just open up to the light of spirit that feeds us and grows us and supports us. We enter into the high vibration of healing, and all our needs are met. So, Lynn McTaggart, some of you may be familiar with her. She wrote a book on intention, about how when many people come together and send an intention at the same time, that they can heal, and that peace can be. She did it in a community where the crime rate went down, actually. They studied it. She's a scientist. So she actually studied the results because, religious science, this is a science. We can prove it. So she wrote a book called The Power of Eight, saying that small groups of people can come together and hold an intention for someone that needs healing and be healed. So a friend of mine and I started a group 5 years ago, a Power of Eight group, and we get together on Zoom every Thursday morning, and we have been for 5 years now, and people send us their intentions, their healing intentions for themselves or their friends. And so we close our eyes and imagine this person in the center of our circle, and we send them healing energy for 10 minutes. And you'd be amazed at the healing that comes out of this. It's very powerful. So when we're in the kingdom, all healing is possible. Everything is possible. So this is one of the wonderful things about the kingdom, is that we know that all things are possible. And Andy's going to play you his wonderful song that demonstrates that.
Oh, no. Yeah, you. I was immersed in the talk. Sometimes I lose my way, and even in the darkest day, there's a light always shining bright, leading me into the light. When I stumble, can't find my way, something inside will always guide my way. I listen to that voice inside, reminding me that's where my love resides. Every day is a perfect day to surrender, let it lead the way. It's in my life, it's all I am. I release and let go and know nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible, and when I forget, nothing is impossible. I remember that everything is possible.
You can sing along.
Nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible, and when I forget, nothing is impossible. I remember that everything is possible. Things in life will always come and go. It's so good to know what you know, you know. We are free and one with all of life. Keep smiling, everything's alright. I am lifted each and every day. Truth and love, oh, is my way. I am marvelous, I am beautiful. I celebrate, speak my word. I know nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible, and when I forget, nothing is impossible. I remember that everything is possible. When I forget, I remember. Nothing is impossible.
And he's got some CDs back there with that very song on it, so you could take it home and remember that everything is possible. And that's what we remember. Thank you, Andy. That was wonderful. When we remember, when we're in the kingdom, we remember that everything is possible. All healing is possible. All dreams are possible. We don't damp down our desires. We lift them up and know that we can have more and more and give more and more. So how do we get to this kingdom? You know, I want to hang out there. This morning, I was waiting for Andy. We were leaving my sister's house, and I was waiting for Andy out in the courtyard. And I said, oh, I'm in the kingdom. I was looking at the birds. I was saying, I'm in the kingdom. And then Andy came out and said, where's the key fob? I took it out of my purse because I know you needed it. So he's looking and looking. He can't find it. I have to go back in there, and I go, wait a minute. What am I doing? I thought I was in the kingdom. And then I remembered that in the kingdom, whatever time I arrive is perfect. Whatever time I arrive is perfect. So I want to go there. I want to live there. Do I have to take a pilgrimage to get there? Do I have to do some special meditation techniques? Is there a map that can lead me there? Where is this kingdom? It's not in the sky like heaven is supposed to be somewhere out there in the sky. Ernest Holmes said in this thing called you, that key that unlocks the treasures of the kingdom is in your hand. The key that unlocks the treasures of the kingdom is in your hand. So put your hand out with me if you don't mind and feel that key. You can feel it there. The key to all of your desires and dreams is in your own hand. The kingdom of God is within. It is right where you are. You're already there. We can't leave. There's a wonderful story by Gangaji called The Diamond in Your Pocket, and she talks about a master jewel thief who is just an expert at going around and stealing the most precious jewels, and he hears that there's the most precious diamond in the world was just sold to a man. So he started following the man around and trying to pickpocket the jewel, and he couldn't do it, and he's a real expert. He was good at it. So finally, after 2 days, he said, "Excuse me, sir, I have to tell you, I'm a jewel thief. I'm trying to get your diamond. Please tell me what you did with it, just so I know where it is." And the man said, "I know who you are. I know you've been following me." He said, "I hid it where you would never look." He put his hand in the man's pocket and pulled out the jewel. We don't look inside sometimes, don't we? We look everywhere else, but inside, where all of the answers are. Mary O'Malley wrote a wonderful book called What's in the Way is the Way. And she calls it the meadow. The meadow. And the meadow is flow, spaciousness, light, love, and stillness. Stillness. There's stillness in the meadow in the kingdom. And sometimes we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be still. We're busy. Stillness is a gift. Hafiz said, "Since happiness heard your name, it's been running through the streets trying to find you." I love that. Happiness is running through the streets trying to find you. So be still and let it catch up with you. Well, what can I do to remind myself that I'm always in the kingdom of good, always in the meadow? Well, I think one of the ways is just being still. Just stopping for a moment in our busy lives where we're going and just sitting and being still. Maybe sit outside in the sun, this beautiful California weather. It's not, well, there is nice weather in Oregon now that we left, but before we left, we had, a couple weeks before we left, we had snow and rain and clouds, so sit in the sun for a few moments and be still. Another thing you can do is let go of the past. Let go of the resentments and the unforgiveness in the past. I don't know who said this, but if you continue to carry the bricks from your past, you will end up building the same house. Challenge the beliefs that get in the way. Listen to that little voice that talks to you, that says, "I'm not enough," or "I don't have enough," or this always happens to me. Listen to the voice that says you can never heal. And remember, all things are possible. Walk by faith and not by sight. Walk forward in faith, knowing that truly all things are possible. And remember that the divine intelligence is always available to you, when you open to it. It's always available. We're hearing a lot about AI right now, and how what it can do amazing things and some things that are scary, but I rely on DI, divine intelligence. So I'm inviting you to be in the meadow, in the kingdom, because that's where you give your gifts, your own unique gifts, and change the world. Someone gave me this card a long time ago, and I keep it and read it often. It's from, there's a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn, a longtime religious scientist, an older, she's not alive anymore, but this is what this card says. There is a place that I am to fill and no one else can fill. Something I am to do which no one else can do. Say that with me, will you? There is a place that I am to fill.
There's a place that I am to fill.
And no one else can fill.
And no one else can fill.
Something I am to do.
Something I am to do.
Which no one else can do.
Which no one else can do.
It's like there's a universal puzzle of God. And then all our unique puzzle pieces are all there. And the puzzle needs all of them, needs all of what we each give uniquely. Did you ever do a puzzle? Andy's a big puzzle person. And then there's one piece missing? or a couple pieces missing? It's not the same. It's frustrating because each one of us is a unique piece that makes the whole. And when you spend time in the kingdom, you remember this. So what is it that you are to do that no one else can do? It can be a big thing or it can be a very small thing. I have a friend, Kate, whose daughter in Roseburg is in junior high, and she's a mixed race, beautiful little girl, and she's experiencing racism in the junior high. They're calling her names. And so it's been very painful and difficult. So she decided, it's time for me to speak out. And she invited us to go with her to a school board meeting. And she had her 3 minutes and she wrote down very thoughtfully what she wanted to say. And she shared the pain that her daughter's going through. She read the names that her daughter's been called in the room. And people were moved. And Ben, our son, spoke, and I spoke. And you could see in the eyes of there was a big group of people, all of the school board members and the superintendents and the principals, and it sort of woke them up to, oh, I can't ignore this. I'm hearing these words that this little girl is hearing. And so there's been plans. There's a committee formed to bring change into the schools and educate and bring help for kids, and we're all going to be involved in that. So that's a big thing that Kate stepped up forward and did that was hers to do. But what about something small like reminding a friend how powerful they are? That might be what's yours to do today. Or encouraging someone to take that next step. Or being there for a child, just listening to a child. I see the two beautiful little children over there. Listening to a child. When we're in the meadow, we remember that Spirit is always leading and guiding us to a place that only we can fill. And when we come from that place of knowing, we can take our place and our puzzle piece can be a part of the whole, and we can give what is ours to give. And then we bring our whole selves to this world. And remember that we are one, and all we need to do is be like that plant, is become still and soak up the light and the love, soak it up, and then we grow forth and share our gifts with the world. So let us pray. I know at this moment that I am one. I am one with the sun and the light and the beauty of the universe. I am one with the power that keeps the planets in orbit, that grows the grasses, that shines down upon all of us. And when I come from this place of oneness, I know the truth. I speak my truth and know that I can step forth in beauty and love and give my gifts to the world, the gift that only I can give. I celebrate the gifts of others and remember that I am always in the kingdom, in the meadow. I can never leave. Because Spirit says you are always here. I am always here with you, answering your call. So we call forth Spirit to support us on the journey of our lives, on the expressing the beauty and the love that we are in a bigger way. And we allow the light of God to shine forth from each one of us. And when we walk outside from this center, people notice this light. They feel it. And then it reflects back on us. So I call on Spirit to lead me and guide me on this journey of life. And I release this into the law joyfully, knowing it is done, it is good, and it is very good. And so it is.
I walk in God.